Coast Studios in Oklahoma City. I'm Jenny Carlson, and this is an OU update. The Sooners are headed to the Russell Athletic Bowl to play Clemson in Orlando, Florida on December 29th, and this season might have taken a whole different turn if not for some issues at kicker. Jason Kersey joins us on the phone, and Jason, a lot has been talked about Michael Hunnicutt. He was so good a year ago and really had a nice start to this season, but then issues in the K-State game. Another miss in overtime of Bedlam, ultimately a miss that cost the Sooners a win there potentially. What can you say about Michael Hunnicutt and his problems? Is there any way to diagnose what has happened with Hunnicutt?
Well, I think so often kicking is such a mental thing, and when you lose it, sometimes you just lose it. And I'm not saying he can't get it back, but the Kansas State game was really bad. Missed 2 field goals, missed an extra point, and they lost by one. And so it's not a crazy thing to say that his mistakes literally cost him that game. And so ever since then, he's had a couple of kicks that have been really good, but he's also really struggled at other times, especially against Oklahoma State, missing that field goal in overtime that would have put OU on top and given them a chance ultimately to play a second overtime and maybe have a chance to win.
Yeah, a 44-yarder that he missed in overtime. So not a for sure by any stretch of the means from that distance, but a distance that he had made field goals from in the past. He'd gotten so consistent, Jason, people began to call him Money Cut, and I don't think that's the case anymore. You mentioned kickers going through the mental problems that they can. I mean, that's derailed guys before, even at the highest level, right?
Yeah, the one that I always think about is Mike Vanderjagt, who was a really good kicker for the Indianapolis Colts for several years. He missed a field goal in the playoffs against the Steelers. I think it was 2005. It would have been 2005 or 2006 that cost them that game at home. After that season, he went to the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't even think that he made it to the regular season before he got cut. I remember one preseason game where they were playing the Vikings, and he missed a couple of field goals from, I think, inside 35 or 30 yards, and he got cut, and he was really never the same after that. And I think sometimes all it takes is one kick for these guys to lose it, and it's unfortunate because they do one thing, and Trevor Knight can throw an interception, or Sterling Shepard can drop a pass and he can come right back out there and do it again. And there's something about being a kicker. It's just sometimes hard to recover.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, Jason, what Michael Hunnicutt might be able to do in the bowl game. I mean, this is obviously a game that if you compete, you want to win, but it's not a pressure situation necessarily in terms of championships or rankings or those sorts of things. Maybe he recovers it. He's a senior, maybe looking towards his future. I guess maybe is that best case scenario?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it'd be really good for him to have a good bowl game and sort of maybe get some of that confidence back. But I think also it would be good for him to make a kick that really matters, not a kick that in the third quarter where they're winning by a lot or losing by a lot when it really doesn't matter. If he could make a fourth quarter field goal that helps them win the game, I think that would go a long way towards his confidence, because you think about it, and really until this year, he hadn't had a whole ton of opportunities to be a clutch kicker, and maybe that cost him in those situations this year.
All right, something to watch as the Sooners get ready for that Russell Athletic Bowl on the 29th. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.